Hello and happy Thursday, everyone. It is Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. We are, we're going to be talking some Fairgrounds here. We're taking a look at some Sam Houston. I know me and my boy Joe, we are live in a couple of pick fours here, rooting for the 2. Also have the 4 and the 5 here. Looks like they're loading into the gate. And as they load into the gate at Sam Houston, let's load the rest of the On the Wrong Lead team in the gate here. First, we got the morning line favorite. Which one of these guys is the morning line favorite? I don't know. We'll call him an entry. We got Mark, Mr. Two Turns.
I'm
Caleb, Mr. Caleb.
That's clearly Caleb.
Well, I was gonna make a joke about you being the morning line favorite, but being a bad favorite. But I didn't want to go there, but I guess I went there, and they are off here at Sam Houston. Like I said, Joe and I got the 2, the 4, and the 5 here. Caleb, who you got in here?
I also have the 2, 4, and 5 actually.
Okay, I got more weight on the 2. The 2 is actually kind of my lone A in this spot here. So
yeah, I singled the 2 on one ticket, and then I played him with the 4 and the 5 on another ticket.
And this is kind of setting up how I thought. We were kind of looking at this one earlier, Caleb. We didn't really know where the speed was going to come from, so I kind of thought the 2 might get on the lead, but I didn't think he needed it. So it looks like our 2 and the 5 are sitting pretty nice here. It doesn't look like they're going overly fast.
I'd say the price on this Dio horse drifted up like crazy. A 7-2 morning line went up to 5-1 to pop the gate, and considering the kind of money his horse has been taking, that horse must have 3 legs.
Which horse was the Dio horse?
7.
The 7?
Yeah.
There's a lot of horses in here that they're coming off a real bad race. Either off a barn switch or off a big layoff. And if you think that they're the horse they used to be, they win this. The 4 and the 5 should both win this race easily, or the 7, who looks absolutely loaded.
7, who's loaded.
Oh no,
loaded!
Don't do it to me, Dio.
He's loaded.
He's just he's gonna walk right on by.
He's gonna walk right on by in a hand drive. Yeah.
Oh.
This
is over.
No.
Doesn't even need to switch leads. The Dio juice is too strong.
That's 4 might get there.
4 is going to make a run, but he's running out of racetrack.
Oh, God. Well, that's a great. All right, guys. This was On the Wrong Lead. Thank you guys for watching. All right. Well, I guess we can talk about the rest of the races. God damn it!
You didn't use the Dio horse, really, Josh? You know better than that.
So the funny thing is as I pull up my tickets here, I believe the next race also has a Dio horse that is also the 7, and I accidentally used it. I fat fingered a ticket, and I was telling Caleb, I was like, "Oh no, I got to put this ticket back in." So I put the ticket in again, and I fat fingered it again with the same horse. I'm like, well, it really wants me to play the 7 in the next race, I guess. But yeah,
fat fingered the wrong race.
Yep, everything's dead. I'm afraid I'm going to take a look at Joe's ticket here. Joe had the 7 in his other pick 5 that is dead, so he's alive for 4 to 5 at least. But yeah, I was not anywhere close to that horse. But
that's a hard horse to get to.
Oh, well, we're on the wrong lead. We're going to talk a little Fairgrounds. Our boy Chase is out on assignment, apparently looking for I don't know. I think he's looking for like rental properties or something. And I know our other friend Brian, he's currently feeling a little under the weather and just super busy with work. So we'll see if they're able to pop in a little bit later. But we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to take a look here at the late pick 4. I thought the late pick 4 looked really interesting. I thought there's a couple of good races here to talk about. So I figured we'd go ahead and kind of talk through this. We got the New Orleans Classic as the first leg here, 1 8 on the dirt at Fairgrounds. We have the return of Roadster in a different barn, which is kind of surprising. I thought Roadster was retired, but apparently he's not. And then you got Owendale, showing his face again after that great third place last time. What a rat of a horse he is, but yeah, Caleb, why don't you get started, because you said, and I quote, "I hate every horse in this race."
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to say that a little too often, but we need some fresh faces in here. And you look at this race, and it's really a mess. Like you said, you get Owendale coming off of the year layoff out of the Bob Baffert barn. I don't really know the backstory there, but I did notice that today at Oaklawn, another ex-Baffert horse, Auberge, a filly, she also was owned by Speedway Stables, left the Baffert barn off a huge layoff and went to Michael Stidham. I'm not sure if maybe there was like a falling out in the ownership group there with Baffert or something, but she didn't run very well for whatever it's worth. But yeah, I don't like Roadster here. Just out of the Baffert barn, off the layoff, too many strikes for a horse that's going to take an incredible amount of money just based off of his name. I mean, if you've ever watched the stream, I don't like Owendale. So I landed on two horses here, and I know that you know who they are since we talked about it briefly. But if you look at this race, there's no pace. I mean, there's zero horses in this race have been within 3 lengths of the pace, for that matter. So I ended up on the two horses I think aren't Roadster and can be forwardly placed. The first being the 3, Ollie's My Boy. This horse was definitely a closer in his last race, but he was off slow that day. And if you go to the race 2 back, he was a lot more forwardly placed. His debut race way back at Tampa, the horse showed a little bit of speed. A couple of races at Woodbine, the horse had a little bit of speed. So I think that Irad's going to keep this horse in the race, most definitely. The horse clearly likes the dirt. It likes Fairgrounds, and it seems to be improving. It's a 4-year-old in a race full of 5- and 6-year-old has-beens. So give me the horse that's on the upswing, that might be rounding into the top form of his career, rather than some of his other horses that are probably chasing glory days long gone by. So the 3 would probably be my top pick here. And the other horse I did find interesting, again, just on a pace angle, is the 6, Chess Chief. I don't really like this horse because this horse doesn't really like to win. 3 for 22. But the one thing that I think you have to take note here is that Luis Saez gets up. And if there's one thing we know about Luis Saez, is he is an aggressive rider. He's going to put this horse near the lead, if not outright on the lead. And that might be all it takes. None of these horses are world beaters. And I do think that Chess Chief does have some early tactical speed. Going an extra 16th of a mile today or Saturday does make me a little bit nervous, but he's got enough wins at 1 mile and a 16th to where I don't think it's a huge stumbling block for him. So I think that getting Saez up in a very favorable pace scenario could set him up to be successful. But my top pick would be the 3, Ollie, My Boy, and I'll probably have a little bit of Chess Chief. But all the other, familiar faces, I'll probably let beat me.
Yeah, I tended to see this actually very similar to Caleb. It, on paper, appears to be somewhat of a paceless affair. I would assume that Chess Chief sort of inherits the lead. He seems to be the horse that's had the most success, being a little more forwardly placed, and I think he has some tactical speed. I know Optics had him being on the lead. You can make a real good case for him. Similar things with Luis Saez getting up. You expect a little more aggressive ride than out of Jimmy Graham or out of Joe Talamo, who've been on in the last 3 starts. Should be forwardly placed. He makes a lot of sense. Again, similar take here to Caleb, Roadster and Owendale. I think we know what they both are, and in this older division that just probably isn't that good, and we haven't seen hopefully we haven't seen the best that there is to offer in that division. I want that new fresh face. I want that horse that's an improving type. And I very much agree with Caleb. Ollie's My Boy makes a ton of sense. He, was a closer last out, but again, he was off really slow, and he had to rally 5 wide to get it done. The figures don't come back in that race as strong as some of the other races, but when you account for the fact that he was 5 wide off slow, he ran a much better race than it looks on paper. I love a horse for course. He's 2 for 2 here. And if you look at some of the horses he's been up against in his last few races, Cowboy Diplomacy is a decent horse. PQP is, was at one point thought to be a fairly decent horse. There have been a few others in here as you look back that are some, he's been keeping some fairly decent company. And he's one of those horses you have to kind of draw some lines through some things. You have to cross out the Woodbine for him. Apparently he just didn't really ever love the synthetic. And all of a sudden, he seems to be the improving type. Moved since been improving since he's been back on dirt, and moved back into the States. And he makes a lot of sense here at quite a nice price that I don't think you'll end up getting. Because if Caleb and I are both on him, I would imagine that the smart money is probably landing there, and he'll end up taking some money. The quote unquote smart money. The only other horse that I did sort of find a little bit intriguing. And again, this is one of those races that I have a feeling that all the jockeys are going to look at it and say, hey, there's no pace, and therefore everybody goes. And if that does, you want to figure out who's, the sort of off the pace or slightly off the pace type horse that you want. And I kind of like Enforceable, just a touch. I think he can sit behind some pace. He can be tactical in here, 5-horse Josh. And Beskiza had a choice between, looks like 2 in here. And I don't know if Beskiza was bumped off for a rad, or if this was Beskiza's first choice. And I think this is anyways. So I find him a little interesting in here. He did not have the best trip last out, and he makes a little bit of sense in here for that horse that I think is getting better with age and can be a little bit tactical.
Yeah, so first of all, I do want to shout out. We have a couple of people watching from a hot tub. So anytime somebody's watching our live stream from a hot tub, I'm contractually obliged to shout out. So shout out to Joe and his son Jacob. So hopefully it's a little bit nicer there than it is here, because it is definitely not hot tub weather here in Illinois right now. We got hit with some little cold front here, but hopefully you're enjoying the hot tub out there. But not to like beat a dead point, because I guess we don't want to say the other thing, but Chess Chief here is very near a single for me. I do not want to play anybody closing from the clouds at Fairgrounds. That's just something that I try to avoid. Now, if the horse is good enough, the horse can win from way out of it. So, maybe a horse like Enforceable, Captivating Moon, or Ollie's My Boy can come from way out of it. And then Captivating Moon, we don't know which race he's going to enter in. But I mean, all of these horses want to close in from way out of it. So, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick with somebody who I think is going to be aggressively ridden and up front. I'm gonna go with Chess Chief. He's pretty much, if I'm ABCing it, he would be a lone A type. And then, it's really hard for me to kind of get past, some of the classier horses in this race, and kind of, I guess, separate them. Like, I almost feel like Sonneman and Owendale are like the same horse, like run style, form, everything. So, if you're using one, I kind of think like if you like one of them, you gotta like the other one. But I just don't really like either of them. So,
Sonneman desperately needs a pace setup in here, doesn't he? Like, he needs pace in front of him to sort of collapse that he can suck up into. That's the only way he's ever won.
Don't you think Owendale does too?
Yeah, no, agreed. I completely agree with you. I thought you were trying to make a case that I'm
trying to make a case that if you like one of them, you gotta like both of them. Like,
okay.
You gotta like Sonneman.
I think they're the same horse, except for you're going to get 5 times the price on Sonneman.
Well, they're the same horse from a run style perspective, and I'm no Owendale fan, but he's banked 1.4 million. He's a graded stakes winner, and Sonneman is still eligible for N3X allowances, so I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, he won the Oklahoma Derby. I forgot. I was like, is Owendale a graded stakes winner? He won the Oklahoma Derby. Yeah.
He also won the Ohio Derby.
Oh, yeah.
He beat Sleepy Eyes Todd.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, who knows? Maybe if he gets out on the front end at some point.
He beat Everfast too. So
look it. I am not one to say that I am not 100% intrigued by Roadster. I'm not going to put any money on him, but I am very curious. Let's say I'm Roadster curious. I'm curious to see how this horse is going to run. I mean, this horse is very well bred. I mean, quality road. I mean, we'll see what happens. I have no idea. Like, I thought he was retired, so I'm just like super surprised that this horse is even still running. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to bet him with anybody's money, but I think if I'm going to stay skinny here, I'm going to go with Chess Chief. If I were using bees, I'd probably use your Ollie's my boy. You guys made a real good case for him, and then maybe use Sonneman and just toss the short favorites, the 1 and the 2, and just kind of be done with it. But and Captivating Moon, if he draws in here, I like Captivating Moon. I'm guessing that they're going to run him on the turf though. But I would be fine if you told me, hey, you have to single one horse in this last in this part. I'd be good singling Chess Chief here, but
I wouldn't talk anybody out of buying this race. Yeah, the 2 short price favorites, I don't really think are going to win. But it's hard to make any strong case for one particular other horse. I know you're all about Chess Chief, but nobody here would truly surprise me. I mean, maybe Macedo Rojo might, but anybody else, I really could see winning. So this isn't the worst race to buy, especially if Captivating Moon scratches out and it's a pretty small field.
Yeah, and and that's kind of, I guess, the point I was getting is I feel like once I got past my top choice, the race seemed very flat. So yeah, like if you feel like you need to go deep in that leg, like I totally get it. But usually at least for me, when I look at a race and I kind of feel that way, where I have a horse that I like the most, and maybe like half step below, I have like 3 or 4 other horses. I put pressure on myself and usually single there. I mean, depending on the rest of the sequence, obviously. Like if I'm like 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 or some nonsense, then you're gonna have to start cutting somewhere. But yeah, at least kind of looking at this, I mean, that's kind of where I was leaning towards, at least there. But I mean, definitely top choice. But I agree with you, Caleb. I think that once you get past, at least for me, once you get past my top choice, it's a very, very flat race. And part of me just is that makes me want to fade Owendale even more, because I don't think that there, like I was saying before, there's a big difference between a horse like Owendale in this spot versus, a number of the other horses, and you're going to get a third of the price on Owendale and you are on the other horses. So
just curious, heads up, Owendale or Roadster, who you got?
Oh, I would take Roadster.
See, I would take Owendale.
I would take Roadster.
Heads up, like if we're talking even money bet, like I guess you take Owendale because as a known quantity. But if you're telling me at morning, like I had to take either Owendale at 2-1 or Roadster at 3-1, I'd take the longer price, if that makes sense. I don't think that I just don't think that there's probably that much between them. I mean, Owendale probably is Roadster. They're probably the same horse. If Roadster went to the Oklahoma Derby and the Ohio Derby, he would have won all those races. I don't know. But all right, let's move on here. Let's move on here to the next race, because how much time we got left? We still got 8 minutes here at Sam Houston. Are you still live in anything, Caleb? Are you dead?
No, that horse not. I might play a double or something, but I'm done for right now.
Yeah. I mean, I really like this 5 in the spot, but the 5 is now 2-1.
Yeah, I value got killed there.
So this is kind of a tough little race here at Sam Houston.
I thought the 4 was a bit interesting in here at a price at Sam Houston. I kind of wanted to throw like a 4-5-8 exacta box in here. Just playing more optics angles than anything else.
The 4, huh?
Yeah. 4 is, on optics, is as fast or faster than the 5.
Yeah, you just got to wonder how many of those races that go into that big square came with a different trainer at a different track a while ago.
Agreed.
But 20-1, there's no bad bet.
Yeah, there really is no. I completely agree with your logic, but you'd have to make the same case for the 5, wouldn't you have? The 5 seems to have form that's tailing off as well. So
I kind of agree with you there. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the 6, honestly.
I was going to say the 6 is looking like value at this point. Kind of floating up a little bit.
That's kind of where I'm looking.
I was 5'6", 8" here, and I was 5'7", 8" if you include
The fat finger ticket.
if you include the fat finger ticket. The 7 is a deal horse that I was trying to make all kinds of cases for, and then maybe after that last race, maybe I got to use him. I don't know. I feel like that's just burning money. That's just asking to like lose money though. Yeah, I think I got to throw out this 8. Let me take a look at the probables here. I thought the 5 next race like might be like the just stone cold lock. I mean, 5 and 6 are paying 34 and 39 to that 5. The 6 is even shorter from the 5. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I completely agree with you tossing out your 8 here. I mean, 2 for 33 types are not my cup of tea, especially when this is a projected 3-2 when they pop the gates. So those kind of odds, yeah. I mean, I get it, Sophie and everything else, but
I just think it's a turf horse.
Yeah,
it's a turf horse. I mean, like all the stats like point to like.
Well, I mean, the horse is 2 for 20 on turf and has no turf times to speak of. I don't really know what.
Y'all are talking about different races.
Yeah.
What race are you talking about, Mark?
Oh, I thought you were talking race 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, Senorita Comita. Yeah, I mean the horse has got 208 turf Tommies. That's doesn't scream turf pedigree, and the horse is 2 for 20 on turf.
Yep, and it's a dirt race now.
And it's a dirt race now. So I mean, I understand that, but I is this really a dirt horse?
I mean, I don't know what this horse.
The horse has only hit in 4 dirt starts, has hit the board once, and it was a show.
Yeah,
I'm going to go far enough back for that. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm much more interested in this 5 here, and I like the 6 a little bit as well. So I'm probably just going to play a double here to my 5 in the next race and see if I can't get my my tickets back here. 5, 6, 5. So, we'll do an $8 double.
I just played a $10 double 6 with the 5. I was trying to find a way to use the 3, but he's a little bit too short.
All right. We got a couple minutes there before we go in. So while that's loading up, let's switch over here back to Fairgrounds. We got the Muniz Memorial here, Grade 2, mile in the 8th on the turf. And you want to know the interesting thing about this race, Mark? Really, the thing that really I could not believe about this race is I tried really hard to look through this race and find a horse that I knew that Caleb absolutely hated. And you know what?
And you found it in Spooky Channel?
Well, I mean, Spooky Channel, I guess you could say him hating it, but mostly because I think we were both against Spooky Channel and that JB Connolly. And that Spooky Channel blew up a couple tickets. But I don't know, there's not many like horses that I mean Spooky Channel maybe, but there's not many horses here that owe you a lot of money.
I feel like Caleb may have some pixelate hatred, maybe a little bit.
I hate cross border though.
Oh, cross border. You hate cross border?
Yeah, I hate cross border.
Why do you hate cross border? What did cross border do to you?
How did he hurt you? He was the chosen one. He was supposed to deliver us from the hell of Sadler's Joy and all those other bums. And he won at Saratoga and then just has done nothing since.
Okay, Lee.
So we got a couple guys with live tickets at Sam Houston. Looks like nice. Joe is cashing a double to the 3 and the 6 here. Jay kind of likes the 4 here for an action play. Who's the 4 at Sam Houston? Did we look at the 4? That was the one you liked, right, Mark? You liked the 4 a little bit?
Yeah, I like the 4. Yep, I like the 4 a little bit here.
Yeah. So I could maybe if I didn't have my glasses on, I could see the 4. But here at this Fairgrounds race, I mean, there's 2 horses that are that I kind of like in this race. No surprise. I do really like cross or factor this in this spot. Anytime I see the letter E followed by a number 8, especially on turf at Fairgrounds, I tend to like it. I don't know what happened last time. I wish I had I knew what happened, but I don't know. I don't think he really had an excuse. I mean, I guess they went a little fast, but I didn't think they went that fast. So I don't know. Maybe it was the off going. I mean, he's won on yielding before, so I mean, I don't really know if he had an excuse. What do you think, Caleb?
I've bet factor this in every start since his probably since his Muniz Memorial last year. Because he had some just gaudy time form figs at one point, like 130s, like easily. And I've tried to make an excuse for him. And a lot of those races, they did have a hot pace. He ran into Halliday in a couple of those races, and they just kind of burned it up on the front end. Last race, he did hook up with the 11 horse. I forget the horse's name, Spectacular Gem, some other speed horse. But yeah, I mean, I think at this point, he's just not the same horse he was last year. He's a fine horse, but he's just not the same horse that he was when he was on that dominant win streak. So yeah, I think he's probably just tailed off a little bit. I don't think it's the yield and ground. I don't think it's the distance. I don't think it's the track. I just think he's, not quite as sharp as he used to be. What I will say without handicapping the whole race is that I do think this is an easier spot. And I do think this is the most favorable pace setup he's seen in about a year. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have as much pace pressure as he did that last race. So I think he's going to sit a nice trip here. He's on the rail. So I'm real interested in the 1 here. Another horse I'm interested in is going to be the 4 Cross Border. I mean, maybe I just have. Are you all right?
No, I'll be okay.
I like this Pacific Classic, his run. He was at a nice price. He did get beat by Colonel Liam and Largent. Colonel Liam's coming back in this race, and he's
the Pegasus, right?
A Pegasus. Sorry, what did I say?
He's a Pacific.
Sorry. Yeah, the Pegasus World Cup. Sorry. But I thought he ran fine in that Pegasus. He didn't have much pace to run into, so I think there's going to be. The factor this is going to set an honest pace, so I think he might have a little bit more to run into here. But I just like him better. He's getting his Lasix added back, like I said, I thought that last race was really good. So Colonel Liam's going to be your short price favorite in this race, and I mean he's 3-1 on the morning line, but I mean compared to the rest of these horses, I mean I'm guessing that he's going to be way shorter. Maybe he's going to be 2-1, So, I mean, from a price standpoint, I'm not super interested. So I'm gonna keep most of my plays here around the 1 factor this, around the 4 Cross Border, and I mean, if Captivating Moon draws into this, I might be a little interested as kind of a B or C type. I mean, that last race was impressive, and I mean, he's not going to get as much pace to run into, but maybe he just likes a Fairgrounds turf. I don't know. So those are going to be kind of the 3 horses I'm going to use here. Mark, what are you thinking?
I was actually thinking fairly similar to what Josh was thinking, to tell you the truth. This race to me, you have 3 horses come out of the Pegasus. They went 1, 2, 3 in the Pegasus, 1, 2, yeah. So you had Cross Border, Colonel Liam, and Pixley all came out of the Peg, and I guess Pixley ran 5th, but Colonel Liam was bet like a sure thing in the Pegasus, and we were all kind of scratching our heads at why he was taking so much money, and obviously got it done. If he's the real deal, he should win this fairly easily. He just doesn't really tower over these. He's going to get a very different pace setup. I think I don't really know how good that Pegasus turf race was, and I think he's getting a legit class test here. I think this is a very different group of horses that he's running against, and I actually think there are better horses in this race than there was in the Peg. I ended up kind of seeing this like Josh. I think you get more honest pace out of Factor This. Factor This should get fairly loose on the front end. That's how he does his damage. Maybe he's not the same horse he was last year. Again, these sort of speedballs tend to have a harder time getting it done as they get older. But, I want most to Factor This. And then I think the one that's the most likely to pick up the pieces is Cross Border. And Colonel Liam makes a lot of sense. I kind of want to fade him here. I just don't trust him. I don't really have a good and legit reason for it. I just don't. Something feels a little bit funny about him. Maybe it's just still in my head that Todd Pletcher shouldn't have good turf horses, and he doesn't really seem to have the most turfy pedigree anyways. And the other horses, and God, I don't know why I keep going back to this well, but I feel like I need to give Spooky Channel one more chance. He's that horse that comes up and bites your ass when you don't use him. This might be a little sharper than he really wants to go, but he does make a lot of sense in here, and he sort of fits with this bunch. You want to hop over to Sammy, Josh?
Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like this 2's got to get out of here. It looks the 6 is looking good. This 3 looks loaded on the outside.
Rolling right by.
Oh shit! All of a sudden, 3 hit a wall. My 6 ain't gonna get there. Fuck.
No, there goes the 3.
That was the other. Wow, 6 hung bad.
3, 2, 5, 6. Wow.
I tried to get to that 3, but I could never see him closing off the pace the way he did.
Yeah, I didn't. Let's take a look at that 3.
I mean, on the stretch out for a horse that's, always won on the lead while sprinting.
Yeah. I think we talked about the horse a little bit stretching out when we were talking beforehand, but I didn't get anything. Oh, but Joe did cash a double there. He said it was a Scott Young autoplay, so he saw he saw it there, and he went ahead and cashed a nice little double there. Good. I'm going to go 2 for 4 probably in this big 4, so I did not deserve anything here. Caleb, what did you think here at Fairgrounds?
Yeah, so I looked over the form, and who the fuck is Colonel Liam? I still haven't figured that out. I didn't know who he was in the Pegasus, and he got bet like a sure thing, and he won. And I still have no idea who this horse is, but he sold for $6 billion, and he's a Todd Pletcher horse that has taken a lot of money lately. So I'm going to use him. I don't feel good about it, but especially as the favorite. But he did win a Grade 1 in the Pegasus that was off Lasix. He's really done nothing wrong since going to the turf. He's not the sexy horse that I want to single at probably 9-5. But he is probably the likeliest winner here. I agree with both Josh and Mark about Factor This. So I think, like I said earlier, this is probably the softest pace setup he's seen in a year. He doesn't have to go out there and bang heads with Halliday. He doesn't have to go out there and deal with all kinds of shit from Spectacular Gem or any of these other, Some Like It Hot Brown or anybody else. So I do think that he probably gets pretty loose here. The only horse I think that might really go with him could be like the 7, 2 Emmys. But that horse has been content to set off the pace a length or two and kind of stalk. Conviction Trade is kind of fake speed. He's not going to be near the lead on the cutback from 1.5 miles and 2 miles, I think, unless Rosario does something wild. So that kind of leaves Factor This getting a pretty clean trip on the lead here, especially with the rail. So him and Colonel Liam are the 2 horses I like the most. It's probably a little bit chalky, but I couldn't really find a price I feel good about here. I glanced at Josh's 3. I can see the argument for there, but it's kind of hard to see him getting that same setup as he did last time where the race totally fell apart. You can make the same argument for the 6, Logical Myth. I mean, I'm not really against that horse, but really in his last 3 races, he completely tripped out. And I'm just not sure how often he can continue to get that lucky, but it is hard to hate a horse that's 5 for 7 over the local track. And then I did kind of glance at the 7 just because we mentioned the pace looks like it might be relatively uncontested. And if it's a little bit too slow for the closers to get there, I think the 7 is the horse that gets first run. Jimmy Graham's an aggressive rider. He'll have this horse forward. The horse loves Fairgrounds. And he does appear to be in good form. I mean, he's got 2 wins in 2 places in 5 starts at Fairgrounds here. He never had a chance in that last race where he was bottled up the entire stretch. He never had a lane. So if you go back to that race 2 back, he kind of fits here. 20-1, I'm super interested in this horse. I think you'll probably get more like 10-1, which I still think is fair. But that's the only one I looked at. I wasn't really sure what to do with the outside horses. I mean, I don't. To me, once you get past Factor This and Colonel Liam, you can make a case for almost anybody. I mean, a horse like Pixelate or Olympic Runner or Peace Achieved, nobody would be impossible at that point. So that's probably similar to Josh's point earlier. I'll probably just use the 2 chalk and try to get through this race.
Jared Bush chiming in saying James Graham is killing it money wise. Good pick. Good job, Caleb.
Yeah,
Shout out from Jared Bush.
He does good at Fairgrounds.
I think he might be leading writer right now. I think he's ahead by a bit. I know him and Mitchell Merle were battling out for a while, but I think he started drawing away. He's got 81 wins. Flo would probably win if he stayed the entire time, but Flo goes flies around and everything. But yeah, I can definitely see that with the lack of pace in that race. Maybe getting a bomb there with. But I just think Factor this is he's gonna get on the front and just kind of tell everyone to come get him. Jared's asking a little bit about the last race, but I know we'll get there in a second. I did get a message from somebody, so I don't know if we might want to work on this now. All right, I've been told that a certain somebody has offered a $12 free bet on race 10. So I think we need to construct a trifecta. It's going to break the bank for $12 here, Caleb. Race 10, Sam Houston.
Oh, it's Sam Houston.
Yeah, Sam Houston. I've been told free bet. Got a fan of the site who's got a little money in his pocket now. He wants a $12 play for this last race. I think the 5 shouldn't lose. So I think we need to key this 5 on top, but Mark is seeing it different.
Yeah, at first tick, it looks like the 6 is taking a ton of money in here, and I really like the 6. First time LASIK, Sophie Doyle, for a high percentage trainer, and she does very well for him. And we fairly okay maiden second starts. Not really known as a turf trainer, and there's enough turf pedigree there to make sense, but I kind of dig the 6 quite a bit.
Jared also likes the 6. Sophie Doyle in the 6.
I like the 6. I like the 6 a lot more 3-1 than I do at 3-5, though.
Is the 6 the favorite
right now? Yeah,
I don't think he will, or he or she will be live, but
it's projected 6-5.
Yeah, I think we can probably agree. This is a 2-horse race, right?
Agreed. So, yeah. I would agree that way. Yeah,
it's the 5 or the 6. Because the 1, 2, and 3 and 4 all look pretty hopeless, I think.
Oh, so for $6 you could go 1 or 5 or 5-6 over 5-6 overall.
I think at that point I would play the exacta and just go $12 with our best pick on top.
Oh, what about 5-6 overall over 5-6? Maybe we play a super. What's a super? Oh, Mark is just like trying to figure out how to construct a vertical bet. Here, let me.
I would say the 6 probably has slightly. I'm no Texas bred expert, but it seems like the 6 probably has a slightly better pedigree to get the mile on the turf. I'm a little concerned. The 5 sort of hung last time, going 5 furlongs, and I'm kind of worried about him stretching out here with a very sprint-oriented pedigree. But
my other thing with the 5 is that really a turf horse? They tried this horse, 5 times on on dirt. Now they're trying turf. It just seems like it's sort of a desperation move. Not that horse really belongs.
Yeah, it might not, but at least the horse responded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was interested in the 7, but the 7 scratched, and the 8's an MTO. So I think the 7 and the 8 are the scratches in this race.
Yeah. Yep. Can you work the 9 into second and play like a 5-6 over 9 over 5-6 try?
That's pretty chalky, though.
You'd up the base, but I get what you're saying. But I have a hard time seeing anyone in the inside 3 posts finishing within 10 lengths of the 5 or 6. Unless the 1A is super live, which doesn't seem to be.
You could do 5-6 over 9 overall for $2, and that's $12.
And then you want to key it back as 5-6 over 5-6 overall?
Well, I thought we were trying to get a little value by putting a 9 in second.
You're not going to get a value in a 7-horse race where we're both agreeing on the top 2 choices who are really short.
I mean, if you're asking me, of course you're asking me. The best ROI play is to decide who you like on top and play the exacta straight. It's paying $13 for 2, whether it's 5-6 or 6-5 right now. I mean, that's probably your best ROI shot. You can maybe get lucky and play 5-6 over 9 overall and get the 3 to run or something. But
what about you do 5-6 over 5-6 over 9 for $6?
There you go.
Yeah, it's the chalkiest outcome, but it's also probably the most likely one.
Where's Chase at, man? I wish Chase was here.
Ballpark.
I know Chase is just like hold on. Let me text him. Let me see if he's going. Why don't we while I text Chase, we got the Fairground Oaks here, race 13. Morning line favorite in this race. I didn't look at was Clairiere, right? The Steve Anderson horse.
Yep.
2-1 morning line. What did you think here, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, this race ends up being one of those games of, I think there's probably 3 horses that this is one of those races that are always sort of annoying. We know these, newly turned 3-year-old filly division tends to produce prices, as we saw, I don't know, what was it, a week or 2 ago, where we had an absolute bomb win a race. Clairiere is 1-for-1 over this track. She makes a ton of sense. She probably needs a bit of a pace setup in front of her. I mean, I don't know if what happened in the Rachel Alexandra was due to her hitting the gate or, if she really wanted to be that far back, but she was ultra, ultra impressive in getting it done over Travel Column. So you just kind of have to assume that she's sort of the best of the, of this field. And she put Travel Column away. Now, if these were older horses, I would, put her on top and then I would try to find the new shooters below. But just with how these fillies divisions are and tending to be a little bit, prone to pricey upsets, I think you almost have to use them all. So I ended up liking Clairiere. I like Travel Column. And Little Tootsie makes quite a bit of sense in here with Sayas getting up. And I also thought that somebody like the 5 Obligatory, who I realized won a maiden only last out, but Bill Mott horse, he tends to improve them along quite quickly. Jose gets up, and that was another one that made some sense. I don't really know how I end up playing it. I think those are the only 4 horses that I think can win, but I don't really know how I build a ticket with that opinion quite yet.
What are the buyer figs on the last race for that 5?
Obligatory got an 82 in that last race, which is a little bit slower than both Clairiere and Travel Column. Clairiere got an 83, Travel Column got an 82. Little Tootsie coming out of that slop race only got an 80, but good case that maybe she just didn't really handle it, and you have to look back to her maiden race where she ran an 89. Little Tootsie the 4 actually ran the largest fig of any horse in the field. So I felt she had to include her just in case that last one was a little bit of an aberrant race with her just not loving the off-going.
I'm sorry, maybe my headphones are broken. Did you just say that maybe a Tapiture didn't handle the slop well?
I mean, well, she did win. Let's put it that way. Okay. It's one of those situations where
maybe just the fig didn't come back as fast.
The fig didn't come back as strong as and I guess that's more what I meant. I mean, she won, but sometimes I think when you're looking at sloppy races, I tend to kind of widen that range of figures that I find applicable. So I think she makes a lot of sense in that 2-back race, and I guess apparently Briz sees it the same way, and Time Form sees it the same way as well.
So I do want to point something out. Road Warrior, had a nice little comment in chat. He said, "I like the Ortiz bros," and I stopped reading there, and I was really confused because I was pretty sure Road Warrior hates the Ortiz brothers, but he says he likes the Ortiz brothers horses. I saw the period, and I just stopped reading, and I was like, "Wow, he just came full circle." I thought next thing you know, he was going to tell me he loves the governor of New York, and he's just like super super positive guy, but no longer angry New Yorker, but. Yeah, he likes the two Ortiz brother horses in this race. He's gonna try and beat the two faves with them. So it's obligatory. And who's I read on?
He's on the one.
He's on the one. Zagel.
Yeah.
Todd Pletcher and horses that have hard to pronounce names.
Yeah, once he took over the Shadwell from Kieran McLaughlin, it's been happening. I have to admit, I see it the same way as Road Warrior. I could not pick between Clairiere and Travel Column if my life depended on it. I mean, they take turns beating each other. They run similar. I mean, Travel Column beat Clairiere 2 back with a horrible trip and then lost to Clairiere last out with a perfect trip. I mean, I just can't separate them, and it feels bad to use them both. So I'm going to toss them both, try to create some value elsewhere. And I do like the one. Pletcher has a phenomenal record at the Fairgrounds. I'm not going to really try to beat him here, especially with Irad on board. And then I like the 5. That's probably my top pick, which is amazing because most people know I'm not a big fan of last out maiden winners. But I don't have the data on hand, but I could be totally wrong. But I want to say I remember a stat that Bill Mott with last out maiden breakers going into graded stakes has like a pretty high strike rate and ROI. If anyone has Formulator or Stats Racelines or anything, feel free to check that and let me know if I'm wrong. But even if I am, I like this horse. This horse is bred to love going a route of ground, being out of Curlin. Mott horses never win their first race. This horse actually took a lot of money that day, despite the fact it's a Belmont firster. Came back and went off as the favorite, responded well when stretched out to a mile. Jose Ortiz, you have to think this is the horse he came in to ride because he doesn't have a mount in the feature or in the feature turf race. So I really think this horse could be interesting. I'm including her and the 1 both and trying to beat the more kind of obvious horses with the 6 and the 8. It just feels bad to go 4 deep and use the top 4 betting choices all under 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very intrigued by this 5. Like pretty much the same angle you had, Caleb, and Mark. I know you mentioned it too. Bill Mott winning early with the horse. You always kind of, especially if you're going to get some kind of a price on it, like you get a little interested. And going from maiden to stakes race is going to be interesting here. I also like the 4. I think the 4, is going to be stretching out. Ran that really big fig, at least on Briz, 2 back. And I mean, that's the biggest fig in the field. So, I mean, this horse has definitely got some ability. I mean, no offense to Jimmy Graham, but is getting a pretty large jock upgrade, getting Louis Saez aboard. And so I'm real interested in this 4. And I mean, Tom Amos in Louisiana with a filly. I mean, it just feels right. It just feels right, doesn't it, Mark?
It does. Yeah. I mean, I really like Tom Amos. Tom Amos with a filly. Everything feels right. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And Caleb, I pulled your stat. It's 6 for 23, which is 26%, with a $3.71 or $3.71 ROI and 48% in the money. So that's Bill Mott, maiden winners last out, going into a graded stakes in the next start.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Thanks. That's kind of exactly speaks to what I was thinking of. Like, that's a 20-something% strike rate in a graded stakes race. I mean, that's
26
I mean, with a plus
that's
ROI.
Really good. Yeah. And I mean, I think when you see that move out of Bill Mott, where he goes direct from, those are going to be horses moving from maiden special weight to a graded stakes. Those are those horses that the classic Bill Mott horse that wins early. If a Bill Mott horse wins early, it's a really good horse. So, I mean, I guess we all 3 of us then saw this race very much the same, where we're looking at the same. I didn't love the 1. I don't necessarily love that improvement. I don't love a horse that actually, if you look at it in the Beyer or the time form fig, actually regressed from the first to second start, from that maiden special weight start to the second out. But besides that, I think we sort of agreed on the same 4 horses.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to play against a horse, I would just play against the 6. I could definitely see using Travel Column, especially if you're going to get a little bit better of a price. But like you said, Caleb, I kind of feel like you can't really separate the two horses. I mean, they ran two races, a couple months apart, and they just switched spots. It's kind of similar to what happened at oh man, what the Risen Star, right? The top three betting choices kind of flipped. And so yes, I'm interested in the new shooters kind of coming in here, and we've seen that this has become a very, very big key race for the Oaks. So I mean, I don't know if
it's I would say it's very funny how much this has become a key race for the Oaks, but the next race for the males has become a terrible prep race for the Derby. So it's an odd thing how the fillies seem to sort of do well here.
All right, we got 3 minutes here, so we got to decide what we're going to do here with our $12 at Sam Houston. What are you thinking here? Vertical Jesus is I messaged him. He said that he said you don't text me, and I'm like, what? And I guess he opened YouTube right as I said, hey, I'm going to text Chase. So I told him the situation, and he said I taught a man how to fish, and then he said he's got to put the kids to bed. So we're on our own here, boys.
We got no fish. Well,
not that much. I mean, I still like at these prices that I'm seeing, I prefer the 5 over the 6 at the price that we're getting. So I wonder if we key. What's the 5-6 exacta paying? $13.
I'm seeing 14 for 2.
14 for 2. So
6-5 is 13.
Oh, 5-6, yeah. I think we just play a 5-6 exacta straight.
I like that.
I think it's the play. I mean, it's debatable if you put the 5 or the 6 on top, but I do think that's the play.
All right, here. I'm typing to our. All right.
I'm not talking about for our $12 win stake here, but just for more in general. At what price do you win bet that 5?
Depends. It's going to depend on confidence level, right? Like,
if we say it's a 2-horse race, then technically anything above even money's, value, right?
Technically, yes.
I mean, I think I would probably bet this 5 at like 7-5 or better, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, for true odds, I thought this 5 was going to be like 2-5 in this race. I literally thought this horse was going to be 2-5. So we're doing a 5-6 exacta for $10, and then we're doing a $1 trifecta 5 over 6-9 over 6-9. So for some reason we missed on that exacta, but should return it a little bit. And we still got 2 minutes there. So let's take a look at chat here. I know Jared's got a couple of questions here.
Only a couple?
Well, Jay's saying that he likes the Domingo Chataltana. They're going. I can never pronounce his last name. He's talking about the last race at Sam Houston. He likes the great horse. The jockey and trainer Domingo likes to do that, but
the 4% jock and 0% trainer. That one, you mean?
Yeah, he doesn't win very much.
He didn't even get the win for himself.
That's the worst.
Well, apparently Chase's computer's working. He said the screen is black.
This is like Chase's kind of race too, like a shortish field with big favorites playing something slammed vertically. That's right up his alley.
Yeah, this is his kind of race. He got something slammed.
All right, let's see. Let me
But Domingo does sort of avoid the Chad and Arad thing here, where he's not going to get screamed at on the way back to the jockey's room, right?
That's true. Unless he just yells at himself, like he's
maybe
like,
he does.
Domingo, you're such an idiot. What are you doing? What are you doing? So it looks like Jared's got a 641 exacta at Sam Houston. So he likes the 6. I know he was real big on the 6. I like the 6 too, but I don't like the 6 at even money. And Jared's also got $20 on the 1, the joint entry here. So betting against himself a little bit. No, he's got the 641 boxed. That makes a little sense.
Man, there is no turf pedigree on either the 1 or the 1A, like even in the least. I mean, hey, maybe, but
yeah. I mean, I might give there is no pedigree. You're right. I could see the 1 maybe a little. Like they at least tried to put this horse on turf last out. It just got washed off. But like, yeah, I mean, if you had that, you earned it.
Well, the 1A does have a horse from Great Britain on the bottom, and maybe
it's a 1% turf sire.
Yeah,
and a 1% turf dam sire. But the dam has produced 2 turf winners, so
it could just be sample size too, though. I mean, like look at they might just not have a lot of starters. I don't know.
I mean, you have to have at least 76 starters for Brisbane to show 1%.
Yep. Yeah. I can give you starters if you want to know it, Josh.
No, I'm good.
But hey, the dam produced 2 turf winners, so maybe there's more on the dam side of the pedigree.
Yeah,
Jay certainly couldn't be less.
Yeah, Jay also likes the 5 going wire to wire here. That's kind of how I saw it. Though the 5 looked much the best on Figs here, and they're loading into the gate here. All right, they're evening up a little bit now. They're both 6-5.
See, at even odds, I would take the 6 over the 5.
See what our exacta payout's looking like if we hit this. Since I'd still see $13.
12 and 13. Yeah. For the exacta, we want the 5 over the 6.
Yeah, playing the 5 over the 6. Yeah.
Get out exacta at Sammy H. Well, light money's coming on the 5 now.
Probably Steven emptying his 401k on that horse.
Yeah. Shout out to Evil Bob Dole. Evil Bob Dole is just like, he's like, I'm about to do something stupid on this 5. I agree with him.
He's taking all the chalk as we play a 5-6 exacta.
Yeah, Joe's got a 4-5 to the 5, so he's got he'll get a little money back on his like $4 pick 5 ticket that he played.
Are they worth anything?
I didn't look at the payouts. Will pays. Pick 5 to the 5 is paying like
$244 to the 5, $290 to the 6 for a base.
No, that's not great.
But the pick 4s are paying pretty good. I mean, the pick 4s are paying almost the same.
Yeah, we get that 1-5 started off, right?
Yeah, so I think I accidentally played it right by skipping that first race.
Well, from a pace setup, this is not how you expected it.
No, it's not.
These setups are always so hard on these maidens just because they're so lightly read and raced, and very often trainer will, hey, you tried this last time out, let's try this time. And you'll get somebody gets told to send. Your 5's looking mighty good, Josh.
Yeah. We'll see if the 6 does. Oh,
Sophie looks like she invented herself some trouble, so. But Sophie might have a horse, actually.
Didn't Jared have the 5-1-4, or did he have 6-1-4?
6-1-4.
5 is going to hit a wall. I don't think he can go this far.
Yep. And Sophie's rolling. If she's got enough horse.
You can't. Horses.
Yeah, there goes. Yeah, there goes Soph.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned this 5 can't go this far.
Well, on the plus side, that 5 didn't even hit the board.
Yeah, we
would have never had it. Although that was Mark. Mark, you also liked the 4 there, didn't you?
No, I was on the.
Oh, that was a race before. That was a race before you liked.
Yeah, it was a race before.
Did that come in? Was it 6-4 or 6-2?
642.
I think Jared had that, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Jared had that
Yeah,
actually.
Jared's got a
Well, that should be a nice exacta, right?
$38.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
If you have it a couple times, that's a nice hit.
I think he said he had it for $4 if I remember right.
There you go. That's nice. Good hit.
There we go. Now we can actually answer Jared's question that he asked way back when. See if I can scroll up. Jared likes Midnight Bourbon. Thinks he's going to play him to win here. I guess maybe we can talk about this while we talk a little bit about Louisiana Derby. Louisiana Derby is the first of the big point preps, right? It's 100. Is this 150 point one?
They only go to 100, right?
They only go to 100.
Oh, they only go to 100?
The first of the hundreds.
Oh, it's the first 100s. Okay.
Wait, is Tampa Derby 100?
I think it is actually. So I guess
this is the second of the big hundreds. Then.
But no one gives a shit about Tampa.
Yeah, at least
where did Tampa touch you that you have so much hate for it?
Well, let's just say, okay, for me, like the Louisiana Derby is like the third. It's the third prep, right? The third prep is always kind of like the last one, the last big one. So this is kind of like the first of the last big preps, I feel like. I do want to talk a little bit. I'm going to Vegas in a couple days, and I'm gonna be putting a little bit of money on. I think I might be playing some money on some future wagers at Circa. Midnight Bourbon's actually one of the horses out. There's a couple horses in here that I'm kind of looking at. Midnight Bourbon's actually one of them. I think Midnight Bourbon's a little interesting. I think still sticking around here in the Derby Trail. I actually don't hate the three horses that are going to be the short prices in this race, in Midnight Bourbon, Proxy, and Mandaloon, for one of them winning the Kentucky Derby. How crazy am I?
You're crazy.
You don't think you don't think that any of those three have a shot?
I think all three of those horses are here because they're ducking other horses at other tracks.
All right, Caleb.
I think you have a case. I have like questions about those horses for other reasons, mostly pedigree related and trying to get a mile and a quarter. But I'm interested in Proxy. I mean, to tip my hand a little bit, I'm very interested in Proxy. Mandaloon, I mean, I'm still convinced into Mischief's a miler, despite what Authentic did last year. So that'd be my concern against him. But every speed fig you look at has the Risen Star coming back as a fast race. And if you exclude Life is Good, who kind of freaked, then these are three of your top 5 fastest 3-year-olds right now based on what they've shown. So I don't know. I'm not saying I would rush to bet them in a futures pool, but I think they would have a decent shot. As good of a shot as any have coming out of this race in the past couple of years.
Yeah. So I guess my take here is more along the lines that I think since Risen Star, when was the last horse to come out of these Louisiana prep races and really do well in the Derby?
Probably War of Will, right?
Country House.
Okay, Country House didn't happen, and I'll give Caleb partial credit for War of Will. I guess that's a valid take, but this has sort of become to me a lot like the Wood. It just a prep that. You're not here because you have a monster. You're here because you're trying to get Derby points and suck in on one of the other races. It's the same as going to the Tampa Bay Derby. It's the same as going to what's the one that they run in Arizona or wherever that you can get points from. I mean, there's a Sunland Derby. There's a few of these that are sort of those lesser races, and I just don't think any of. Maybe. I mean, maybe it happens. But these are all the trainers, and all the bigger horses here are national trainers. And, if an Asmussen horse is live, it's going to be running at Oaklawn. If a Stidham horse is live, it's again, probably Oaklawn again. I just think these are probably second tier.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate that take. And if you kind of say, well, listen, I mean, if your position is that the only Derby races that are legit are the Florida Derby, the Arkansas, and then whoever Baffert has in Santa Anita, that really limits who you can run with. But I would still say this is a better race than like the Sunland Derby or even the Wood, truthfully, I would say, or the Tampa Derby, or any of those other races. I would say this kind of slots in somewhere in that second tier.
I don't know. There's a couple of horses that are interesting to me at long prices. Proxy is one of them. Mandaloon, I don't know if I'm going to want to put any. Mandaloon's is way too short in the future pool, so I'm not super interested. Midnight Bourbon looked a little interesting to me. The other horse, Medina Spirit, I think is like 55-1, and I don't know. I'm just a glutton for punishment with that horse, I guess. So I think I might toss a wager on him. Greatest Honor, I wish I would have been in Vegas like 2 months ago and was able to place a bet on that horse, because that horse is like third choice now. So, but yeah, I was just interested. Caleb, I'll text you when I'm there in case you want to Venmo me money to put some money on Medina Spirit. I know you were interested at 55-1.
Yeah, 55-1 is an insane price.
Mark is also interested, apparently. At
I was the one that started the Medina Spirit thing.
Yeah.
In fact, if you can get 55-1 on the other Baffer, when there's a chance that Life and Good is what, 50-50 to make the starting gate? I mean, because it's a Baffer. He could have a suspensory injury any moment now. I think Medina Spirit at 55-1 is extremely interesting.
So funny. It looks like Jared pulled a Caleb today. He messed up. He thought he meant to box the horses, and he bet it straight. So he
Best
ended
problem
up,
ever.
Yeah. So his 380 payout actually turned out to 460.
There you go. That's a good mistake.
Good mistake. Those are the nice ones to have.
Yeah. So Jared said he's got Medina Spirit at 35-1 in the future pool. Yeah, Circa's offering 55-1 right now in Vegas on Medina Spirit. So.
But yeah, going back to this race, I know Caleb kind of made a case for 3. I really think it's a 2-horse race. I think it's either Proxy or Mandaloon. I think those are the 2 horses that, I know Caleb still says Into Mischief going this far is suspect. I don't really think he is at this point. I think, this should be fine. I think those are the 2 horses that to me just stand out in paper. Those are the horses that both of them seem to be getting better with every start. Both of them, sort of like to win. And I think you can make the Lecomte, I think you can make a bunch of excuses for both Proxy and Mandaloon coming off from some longer layoffs, and both of them had sort of troubled trips. So I think I really want Proxy and Mandaloon, and probably about all I want in this race, even though this is one of those ones that is suspect to getting massive payouts. There's been a few bombs that have won this race over the years.
So I think in this race, I think Proxy is probably my number 1 pick. I really like Proxy in both Lecomte and the Risen Star, and he just missed them both. Mandaloon for me is a fade in this spot. I don't know, as this gets longer and longer, I just have less and less faith Into Mischief. But and especially at a short price. I'm not super interested in Midnight Bourbon. I think in this spot is going to be up against it from a pace perspective. I think of the races that we've looked at today, this is the one that's got the biggest propensity to melt. So I'm going to want somebody who's going to be sitting off the pace, and I think Proxy can do that. Sit 3-4 lengths back and make a nice closing move. I kind of wish Mitchell Merle was still on this, because I like Mitch. But Johnny V, he'll give a good ride here on Proxy. I think Proxy will sit nice, and Proxy's gonna be my top choice in this race. Other horse that I am interested in is going to be the Shipper, Mr. Hot Rod Charlie. I just think that he's going to get a similar setup that he got in his best race that he's run, which is the BC Juvenile. I think there's going to be a lot of pace up front. So I think that Hot Rod Charlie's going to get some pace to run into. And if you need a horse not to get the lead, you call Joel Rosario, because he will do whatever he can to make sure he doesn't get the lead on a horse, even if it's supposed to get the lead. I think Joel's the right fit jock wise for this. I think the horse's best race has come with a lot of pace in there. we'll forgive him for losing to Medina Spirit, who I want to bet at 55-1. But I think Hot Rod Charlie's gonna sit a nice trip, probably the nicest trip of the other horses in this race, along with Proxy. So those are gonna be the two horses I use here. I'll probably play Pretty Skinny. I mean, Right and Just I wanted to give a shot to last time, but he didn't hang on. And I think that there's going to be even more pace with that horse. Starry in My Dream, same thing. He's going to be forwardly placed. I mean, Run Classic maybe, but he's a maiden winner coming in. Didn't exactly win a real like tough maiden race. It looks like, but it would be nice to see. Maybe we get a Run Happy in the gate. Maybe we get to Run Happy in the gate, Mark. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, Run Classic has got the pace figures that I would be looking for in a horse here, but I just don't think he's fast enough. So I think Proxy and Hot Rod Charlie, and I'd probably toss the rest and play a nice skinny pick 4 here.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Run Classic could, potentially make it into the classics. Is that where you're going here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. The other horse I wanted to touch on, I mean, I'm on Proxy just like the rest of y'all. I think this is a horse that wants to run as far as the card races, truth be told. So I think the mile at 3/16 will be right up his alley. He kind of he's not really a closer. He's not a speed horse. He's kind of like a grinder that just keeps coming at you. He's got enough speed to stay out of trouble. But, I like this horse. Another one I wanted to touch on was the 8, O Bezos. And he's an outsider, to be sure. But if you're taking a closer in this spot because you think the top comes off, I wouldn't totally overlook this horse. He kind of got dismissed in the Risen Star last out, and that was, his first time trying 2 turns. It was a graded stakes company, and he got strung out, 5 wide into both turns, and didn't run all that poorly. I mean, he didn't lose any ground. He, made up, 2 positions throughout the race, and in a race that largely held together up front. I thought he ran a respectable race. He needs to improve to win. There's no doubt about that. But to me, a horse that could come from off of it, if you really think the top might come off, I think this horse has a good chance to step forward, and maybe a minor award's more likely, but I think you'll probably get him at 25-1. So that's a horse that I might throw on as an underneath play, and then maybe as like a C on a pick 4 or a pick 5.
So you're saying he might be like Dad and be a grinder?
Yeah, just like Orb.
Just like Orb, who was a grinder.
Yeah, and when I talk about these races, like don't get me wrong, dude. If Mandaloun wins, I'm not going to be surprised. Mandaloun might even be the most likely winner, but I mean, Mandaloun's probably going to be even money, maybe 6-5, 7-5 in this race. I don't know. I don't see any value in that.
You think he'll take that much money off that Risen Star? I mean, that was not that impressive.
Yeah, but Brad Cox, Flo, I mean, everybody's just
where else do you go? I mean, his 2 biggest threats he's already beaten, some of them twice.
So our top choice, all 3 of us, is Proxy, really?
I mean, I think I love Proxy. Proxy's also, hold on, let me pull up my app. But Proxy's also a real interesting price in the futures pool. Let me get logged in here real quick. But I mean, there's a couple horses in this futures pool that I was actually really, really surprised. I got the Circa app here, and I can't wager because I'm not in Vegas, but it will let me look at the odds. So odds to win. Mandaloun is at 20-1 right now. Actually, I don't hate that. I thought it was a lot shorter than that. I don't hate 20-1. I don't think I'm going to bet that because it's into mischief, and I still don't think that I don't see this horse. I don't see this horse improving enough to really make a splash in the Derby. Life is Good is 3.25-1 right now. Sorry, I'm scrolling. What the heck is Proxy? Oh, Proxy was a late ad, wasn't he? Because he was kind of a late starter. Proxy is 40-1 right now. So I might just like literally like get off the plane and just take a Uber straight there just before Proxy wins this race, just to make sure I get the best odds.
So you would take Proxy over. You're getting shorter odds on Proxy than on Medina Spirit. That just doesn't feel right at all.
I mean, I agree with you. I thought Medina Spirit. I think Medina Spirit's. What is he at? I'm sorry. He's the way they have this set up is like as they add more horses, they like add them to the bottom, so they're like in alphabetical order to a point. Medina Spirit is 55-1 plus 55,000 or 5,500. So, yeah, I think that is just insane. The other horse I was interested in, I'm probably gonna make 3 bets. I'll probably make a bet on Proxy, make a bet on Medina Spirit, and then horse is running on. I think he's running on Saturday. Is the Jeff Ruby Stakes on Saturday?
It is
Stakes.
The Stakes. Fire at Will. Fire at Will.
So you're gonna bet a turf horse in the Derby. Derby is run on dirt, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a turf horse.
Just checking.
But the reason I'm betting this turf horse is because, hold on,
he better be 150-1.
Fire at Will is 150-1 right now.
Okay.
All right, Fire at Will's 150-1 right now. Fire at Will's going to make the gate because Fire at Will's going to win the stakes. I mean, it's just going to. I mean, fucking turf horses always win that race. But the thing is if it comes up wet for the Derby, Fire at Will, I think, has got that wet pedigree. I don't know.
Unless it comes up green for the Derby, I don't think it matters.
Okay, what about for the Saratoga Derby? You like Fire at Will at the Saratoga Derby?
Yeah, I mean, I like Fire at Will at 150-1 in any race, because you'll never get that price anywhere he runs. But I don't think he can win. But if you want to throw $5 or $10 on him for a prayer on Derby day, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to toss like $20 on Proxy and $20 on shit. Why am I blanking? $20 on Medina Spirit, and then just $10 on Fire at Will.
I may Venmo you some money.
Yeah, I'll let you guys when I'm there. If you guys need me to make some wagers when I get the and I'll see if I can get the nice picture of the odds board and stuff. But yeah, I know this as I can tell by our viewer count today. Not a lot of people are excited about Louisiana Derby Day, but I don't know. I like betting Fairgrounds. I think it's a good card. I'll definitely be if I'm able to get to a sports book, I'll be laying some bets down, or I know there are ways I can get wagers down as well when I'm in Vegas. But
I would say if you're looking for stuff to do on this weekend, this is a huge qualifier weekend through horse tourneys for a lot of the things like Players Championship, BCBC, NHC. I think it's their largest qualifier weekend of the year so far. So it's a good weekend if you're thinking forward to a tournament. You might want to get into it a little cheaper than buying in. Good thing to take a look. Again, you're going to have to play some tracks that you may not love, and they may not be the best of cards. We are sort of in that spot where it's not a feature thing. And the other one would be somebody Joe just mentioned it. Do have a Discord tournament going on this weekend. $20 buy-in. It's all the people and I think we used to sell that as a low point, but we do have some fairly decent tournament players on Discord that hop into these. But a lot of fun. If you're new to tournaments, it's a great way to get your feet wet. Because we're all pretty chill about, here's why I landed on this horse. Here's my thought process here. Here's how I approach a tournament. So if you're interested in the tournament game, definitely hit a few of us up, and should be a fun Saturday with that tournament kicking.
I did put up Chase is going to be live, I think, again tomorrow. I hope I have the right day.
He's live tomorrow.
Yeah, I have 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Is that the right time?
Yes, 3 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 4 roughly.
Okay.
It's a good time. It's an interesting, it's a very eclectic group, very interesting time to watch him chat it up on ABR, and they talk some horses and some professional wrestling, and it was interesting vibe.
Yeah, he has a lovely new co-host. So
She is not hard on the eyes.
yeah, so if you were really riveted by the conversation but couldn't bear to look at
Just
Chase
mute
and
it. Just
Blackjack's
mute it and
mug,
watch. Yeah.
you now have a good reason to tune in and leave the video on.
More importantly, on Saturday, something that's near and dear to Caleb and I's heart, Texas Champions Day, Sam Houston. We like playing Sam Houston. I know, like, it sucks that it doesn't line up anymore. They used to run a little bit later on Thursdays, but it looks like they've moved the post time up on Thursdays, so we usually can only catch the tail end of it. But you know, as I've become more of a horizontal player now with doubles, pick threes, pick fours, and I know Caleb and Mark, you guys are primarily pick five, pick four players. So if you maybe are in a state that doesn't get a great rebate, if you are maybe you don't even know what a rebate is. I know Mark's got a video on rebates, so make sure you check that out. You got to look for low takeout, right? Now, takeout, like I'm telling you, you don't notice it until you start playing somewhere like Sam Houston, where all of a sudden your pick threes, which have $1 minimum, which is great for the payout, but then you're always like, I mean, Caleb, every night we play, we're always like, wow, the pick three's paying this? Like, we're always like constantly surprised. And the reason is because the pick three is usually a high takeout bet. The pick three is usually take out like 20, 21%. Like it's usually high. You cut that down to 12%, all of a sudden, dude, your payouts go up. So we love betting Sam Houston. This is their big night. This is all their state bred Texas races. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stakes races. You got turf, you got dirt. Check it out. If I was at home, we would 100% be doing a stream. But because I'm going to be on the road, we are gonna see. We might still do a stream. I gotta talk to Caleb, see what he's doing. But with this software, what's cool is I can actually just pop a stream up from wherever I'm at. So we'll see what happens. I know I jumped on one of these. I think last
It was
in
last year.
August,
I was running it, and you were in Vegas, and yeah, you hopped on from your hotel room, gave us a nice little tour. It was good.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You can catch us at ontherwronglead.com. Twitter is at wrong_lead. Obviously, you guys have our YouTube. And we will catch you guys later.